just new glasses and contacts. So, come see me, Dr. Katina Simmons, at the all-new Grizzled Eye Care, formerly Dr. Zuckerbrand. Hope to see you soon.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations in and going strong. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first RV, contact the family that knows RVs, Highway Campers. They'll walk you through the process of finding the right RV for you and can even finance it for you. Visit www.highwaycampers.com and find your home on wheels. After all, home is where you park it. Highway Campers is a proud supporter of Griswold Youth Football.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You try.
This message has been brought to you by Grizzle Pride. Visit us at grizzlepride.org.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And when they are stupid, it's funny.
So we get started. We get everything situated. Freaking Jim walks in, and here we are, moving everything around.
That was all my idea, not his. That was me. I wasn't. No, don't pick on him. It wasn't him. It was me.
That's my job.
I was just ready to go
Ask
home.
Paul.
Ask Paul.
I was just ready to go home and get going on my paperwork.
Oh.
Of which there's too much of it.
What kind of paperwork you got going on today?
Well, condominium stuff,
Okay.
town stuff,
Ugh.
tax stuff, and personal stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm having trouble finding the floor in my office.
Who?
Oh boy. Yours looks good compared to mine at the moment.
The end of the day, not so much. I spend an hour cleaning it up before I leave. Things get chucked everywhere. So, all right. So we got Paul. Look at this, Paul. The Rebel Lash is back.
That's right.
Look out, Paul's gonna start screaming. Everybody back up. Or no, he's just gonna yell at me.
Well, you know, once in a while, you have to make a statement.
That's right.
Cunningham says, I thought he said paper route. Kevin will be in here Friday. We're going to talk to Kevin from Plainfield. It's a long time overdue.
Yeah, what's happening?
My belly's getting bigger.
What's happening with Amazon up there anyways? I mean, Amazon is laying off tens of thousands of people and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but not warehouse people.
No,
it's all the higher echelon. Yeah, what do you call it?
Higher echelon.
Echelon. There you go. It's all them that they're getting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out when they're going to open. I know they delayed it a month, but
they did delay it for almost a year at one point, from what I understand. Maybe Kevin would know better.
Yeah, I think we're going to find out Friday when he comes in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
At least we'll ask him. He just says he just said end of 2023.
Yeah. Cool.
So still quite a bit of time left for that. So we were talking about, like, before we went on, it's like, you know, what are we doing wrong here? You know, what are other towns doing? And we've talked about this a million times.
What are we doing?
But right, what are we doing? I mean, it seems like Griswold is just, it's, if anything, to me, it seems like it's backpedaling.
I think we just keep going around in a circle.
Well, I think Paul and I probably have the same feeling, is that lack of infrastructure throughout the town was a major problem. We I believe Amazon was talking to Griswold, but nobody's going to wait. You know?
Yeah.
They want shovel ready projects, you know, and then of course the COVID crap screwed everything up. I mean, you know what happened to building prices and escalation. And,
Sure.
I mean, the water tower. I mean, the water tower, first it doubled, then tripled, and I don't even know if it's less and more than that now.
You know, and now we're in a predicament because we waited so long for the USDA to give us $1.4 million, but that $1.4 million turned us into paying an extra $4 or $5 million because of the prices of material and the lack of getting it done. I mean, let's face it, that $8 million or $6 million project is now turned into 10,
12.
11.
Yeah. I don't know what the numbers are anymore.
But it's more than what it was. So
Well, move the mic. You're hunching. That's all. I see you hunching. I don't want you to
we
hunch.
saved 1.4 million, but we spent another 3 or 4 million because of that.
Yeah.
Now, whose fault is that? Not really anybody's fault, because who the hell knew what the other end was going to happen?
And with the economy going the way it is, its prices are going up. So the longer you wait right now, it doesn't take long to spend a lot
Still
more.
don't know when the hell the thing is going to go.
No,
but you
You're
know,
talking about the infrastructure on 164.
Yeah,
and 201.
Yeah, I think
People
right
forget
now,
that piece.
What's that?
I think people forget that piece of the
Yeah, they
infrastructure on
do.
201.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out if it goes in the spring. You know. Yeah. So, but Jim's right. No infrastructure, nobody coming. So,
Shouldn't they have done that a long time? Why did they not do it years ago? I mean, it was supposed to. I know it came across. People were talking about it like 20 years ago, but they never did anything about it. Why then did they think 20, 30 years ago that it wasn't important?
Yeah.
And why did they think it wasn't important? I guess because you keep going back. You know, I mean, didn't they look at Griswold first for that Walmart Plaza and everything?
They looked a lot of places around
I
there.
don't know.
They did. You can't say they just went, Lisbon, we got you. They looked at a lot of
No, I
places
know,
around
but
here.
Griswold, I believe, was one of them.
I don't know. It's
You
before
know?
my time. I was not doing anything with the town when that all was going on. So I can't tell you. I don't know what the answer is, but you're right. We should have had it in a long time ago. But
Well, some people think waiting, it'll fix itself. I don't know, because it's maintenance
it's
on
not going
anything.
to fix itself now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You wait on anything, it's always costing more and it's always getting worse. So.
And it's getting worse. Yeah.
The only question is whether the economy slows down significantly, which a lot of people think it's going to, and whether prices will drop again. I mean, we've seen some drops in some things, but
not eggs.
I'm not seeing anything dropping.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying the oil prices were down. Now they're back up again.
Yeah.
And they're saying gas prices are going to go through the roof again. So who the hell knows?
yeah, well, there's all kinds of turmoil in the Mideast over that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I think still planning for the future one way or the other, no matter what
Well,
happens, you have to, because it's not, like I said, things don't get better. You get one roof leak. Oh, I'll just wait till there's 3. You know, it's like, no, fix the first one. There might not be a second and third if you maintain it.
Let's
So
face it, as a resident or a homeowner, you're not going to do anything in your house right now. You can't afford it. You're not going to be putting any additions on. You're not
oh
going to be
no, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
He's
maintenance.
talking about maintenance,
Maintenance. You
repair.
know, you
But
just
even then, some people
maintain.
are holding off because
I know.
they can't afford it.
I know, but they got to do something, even though how hard it is, even for a town to maintain things. I mean, it just doesn't get better. So, and those numbers crunch big time compared to someone's house. So,
And getting the material to come in. Look how long the order time is. Look how long it takes to get
oh,
something.
and then getting labor, because there's such a labor shortage, getting labor to take care of it to begin with. Yeah.
So
Where'd everybody go? That's what I want to know. All the people that were working and stuff, now all of a sudden, boom, there's nobody. Where'd they all go? Where did everybody go?
A lot of people went on stimulus money.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to end up, obviously, if it hasn't run out already.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where is everybody?
Well,
all of a sudden there's just no people.
Add up
Did
the
we-
amount of people we lost in COVID in this country, of all ages, of all, ethnic backgrounds, of just
I
the
get
people.
that, but
you
I
take
don't think that is enough to cause this labor shortage that we have.
Well, the thing is, though, no, they had been looking at different industries like carpentry and electrical and all that, that there was a shortage for over a decade already. And then you take all these people out of the population, unfortunately, who've passed or can't, because of COVID, can't work anymore. And then you take that shortage and add that to it, it compounds, because it's not like you just took a few. Because the person who's used to work at Walmart greeting you is not there anymore. The people that used to be carpenters who ended up unfortunately passing are not there anymore. So it adds up. It really does. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're already in a shortage of labor, the baby boomers retiring, and it adds up. It all does. It all little pieces.
Yeah, I think Mike is on it. I mean, the labor, the trades labor. I mean, a lot of those people are getting elderly, and they're retiring, and the young people, they just don't want to.
We talked about that.
They just don't want to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. They don't want to work that hard. Yeah.
Look at plumbers.
Well, everybody was pushing college degrees, and forgot about the working guy.
Yep.
If I'm talking to young people, which I try to talk to frequently, I say, if you can get a college education, if you can afford it, or if you got the wherewithal to do it, at least get an associate degree, a 2-year degree. But if you want to make the money, go to technical school, become a plumber, an electrician, or
Carpenter.
HVAC guy. They're not in the same labor grades at all as the ones I just mentioned. But I mean, I got a friend, 2 of his son-in-laws, one's an electrician, one's a plumber. They're billing out over $150 an hour. Now that's not all profit. I mean, there's a lot of overhead that goes with that, but that's what they're billing out.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
It's not quite that high here. That's in Massachusetts, but the numbers up there are a little higher.
Yeah. If you're a good tradesman, a journeyman, I mean, you're going to make some big bucks. That's for sure. Yeah.
And those prices have gone up because there's a shortage of them. So,
Yeah. Supply and demand.
yeah.
I mean, try and get somebody. If you don't have connections with somebody, try and get somebody. Yeah,
Or-
I can be there in 6 weeks. Well, my toilet's running.
Right. The smaller things, a lot of the smaller projects, these contractors can't afford to stop that one day to fix that little one because they're making their money on the bigger projects. So all the small things that people have for maintenance around the house, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Lucky they got friends who can help out or at least give them information. That's what I try to do for Mike. Yeah, so.
God forbid,
Mike,
one of your-
True.
God forbid one of your appliances break.
Mike
Yeah,
has friends.
throw it away.
You're not going to get somebody to come in and repair it for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, but when you do, the
Then you
labor's
get the
going to be
part.
ridiculous. The labor's going to be ridiculous to the point where once it's 10, 12 years old, throw it away. It's
Yeah.
cheaper in the long run.
Well, that's the discussion Carolyn and I have had. I mean, I don't believe in extended warranties. Okay?
No, I don't either. I don't believe in warranties, period.
But we have warranties on the appliances in the house, and I said, if something fails every 3 years, we can easily replace it with what we're paying for the damn warranties.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what's a dishwasher? $700 now. A washing machine or dryer, ballpark number $700.
Yep.
The only appliances that we got that are really expensive is a super refrigerator, freezer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are up around $2,500 and that's when she bought that quite a few years ago.
And by the time you're paying for the warranty and they fix your used appliance, and then afterwards they leave and you still have a used appliance for the money. So it's like,
and there's $100 service charge every time.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
But
but the total cost of repairing, the total cost of doing anything on top of what you already paid for the warranty or whatever doesn't get covered, economically, it's cheaper to throw it away and get a new one in the long run.
I used to tell people all the time at Verizon when they would come in, because they wanted us to push insurance, on anybody that upgraded a phone and got a new line. Now, this has gone back, 12 years ago now. But if it was just a regular flip phone or whatever, insurance was like $750 a month.
Yeah.
And it had a $50 deductible. It wasn't, especially when you can go on eBay and buy a phone for $50, if your phone crapped out or whatever. And now the insurance is, oh my God, it's like $12.50 or $15 a month, like for an iPhone. And then you have a deductible of, I think it's like $175. It's like, how does that make any sense?
Doesn't.
It doesn't, because what they're looking at is here's the kick is that, oh, well, the phone's $1,100, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So if, you have what they're doing is they're replacing it with a certified like new replacement.
Yeah.
CLNR, which is, they call them cleaners.
First question is why does anybody need an $1,100 phone?
Well, I don't think anybody needs an $1,100 phone, Kim. I think people buy them because of what they will do for them and keep them connected.
Yeah. See, a lot of people use the phone as a computer as well, not just as a phone.
Yeah.
It's really, they've gotten rid of the laptop now and use the phone as that mechanism.
Yeah.
So it's the only tool they have.
Yeah, it's convenient if you're not at home, but let me tell you the difference of looking at a laptop and looking at a cell phone is.
No, I understand that, but Paul's right. Many people they don't even have laptops anymore.
No,
everything is on here.
Yep,
everything. I would rather use a PC. I would rather use a laptop, which I have, than a phone. But I can do a lot of things on my phone. I can't do everything personally, but I could probably do a good 75% of what I need to do on my phone as opposed to the laptop.
Yeah.
It's just what their capabilities are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I didn't read in the middle of the night on my phone, I wouldn't need the damn phone.
Yeah.
Flip top would be good enough.
Huh?
The flip top would be good enough.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're using it but they're not phones.
No, I know.
They're
cameras
devices
and everything
now.
else.
They're devices is what they call them now. So, because they do everything. It was funny because I remember in say around 2004, 2005, when I had started with Verizon, people would come, they would come in and they all of a sudden what they started to do, they started texting right around that. And then you'd have people come in, mostly the senior generation. Well, I'm not going to text. Okay. Well, guess what?
They're texting.
They're texting.
Sure.
So, but the thing is they found a use for even the keyboard, just 1 through 9 or 0 through 9, right? Hit, A, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, if you're a busy person, texting is a real time efficiency. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you pick up the phone, you call somebody, and you end up talking for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You text them a message, and it's done in 30 seconds if it's not a long message. So your efficiency of use of your time is absolutely improved with texting.
now that nowadays, I mean, you have complete conversations, especially with the younger generation, that they'll have within text messaging, and I think that's a problem. I don't agree with that. I don't like having complete conversations in text messaging.
I agree with you.
Because I think you miss the inflection. I think you miss, the tone that somebody may be talking in.
That's because we've done this for years when it's their life and they've always texted and they've really never talked on the phone. It seems natural to them, especially with talk to text. Now you're just talking to the phone. It spells out itself.
It's like meetings. I don't like Zoom or any of the other not in-person meetings. I want to see the people I'm talking with. I think you have a much better dialogue.
Well, you can do that with Zoom. I mean, you're seeing the person.
I know you can, but you don't necessarily see everybody's inflections as it's going on and stuff like that.
But
I'm old school.
Go ahead. You're old school.
I think he was done there.
I was going to say that text is not only used for texting people. A lot of times, an office will text you, and I'll give you an example. This morning, I had to go up to Quest, right? Rather than check in, they send me a text. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I just hit the text, and I'm automatically checked in. So there's a nice feature. I don't have to go up and tell somebody I'm here. I just hit the return button, and I walked in, and there was my name up on the board.
Up in Plainfield?
Yep. So there's a nice feature right there. So texting not only is for talking, it's also for
It's also improving efficiency.
Absolutely.
Oh, I agree with that.
Which was the whole point of when.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about like you talking to a family member, you know, and having and next thing you know, you could be like feeling a little salty because you're not getting the inflection correct.
Could that be part of the reason why a lot of the younger students in school, younger people are having more trouble dealing emotionally with life in general because they're not getting that emotional contact with others?
I think so. I thought that for a while.
Interesting thought.
I could be off base totally, but I'm just wondering if that.
Oh no, I agree with that.
Well, look at COVID back.
It was before that. It was before that.
Well, it certainly got amplified with COVID.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
The kids weren't in school.
Yeah.
Let's see. Facebook user says by the third text message, I'm calling. And I kind of do that too. That's pretty much it. Like for example, one guy that I never thought would ever text message, this guy right over here.
Well, talk to text got me going. I hated texting.
Never in my wildest dreams. Dominic, you got to click the thing where it says StreamYard, blah blah blah. That's Dominic Scavone.
Do you check your talk to text messages before you send them? Because
no, but my habit is
problem.
I read them afterwards for some. I don't know, just a habit. I definitely. Oh, what did I send? And then and then I put a little addition at the. I add at the end what I need to fix. But no, I don't pre-check.
You get some pretty crappy messages out there, text to talk.
Oh yeah. Well, let's put it this way: if you know me, you know it's never meant to be mean or inappropriate. So, just never been that way.
But it also says something about those of us that do that. We're a little bit callous about things.
Yeah.
Is that the impression you want to give people in the outside world?
I don't text that many people.
Well, the nice thing now is that if you send a text, you can actually bring it back. You can actually take it back.
That just started.
That just started like
the last update,
like a couple months ago. So you can take it back.
Unsend it.
Yeah, which is I think pretty good. Because if you're really ticked off, and
I was just gonna say,
you can say, "Oh, shit, why do that?" So you bring it back.
No, if I'm upset, I got to call. I can't text when I'm upset. I'm just
I got something really bad I want to say. I sleep on it before I do it, and usually I don't do it.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Good way to lose friends.
True,
but I agree. I think text messaging. I think that's a problem, especially with the younger kids, and they prefer it.
Well,
they prefer the text messaging. They would rather text from room to room instead of coming out of their room, knocking on somebody's door and say, "Hey, they would rather text you."
No, that poses an interesting thought, and that is, are they so socially inept that they're afraid?
I think so.
To have a conversation,
I think a lot of that,
person to person.
How often have we heard of the term social anxiety now?
Oh, big time everywhere.
And I think this has got a lot to do with it. Because people, they'd rather just text. I see it all the time. They would text somebody instead of. I have seen people text people across the table.
Wow. I can believe it. I mean, it's like making telephone calls. I mean, I make them, but I'd prefer to go see somebody in person if it's nearby.
Yeah.
If I'm texting across the room, it's because I don't want anybody else in the room to know what I'm saying. Sort of like a little secret thing.
Yeah, but at that point, this is what's happening. Like this, you're doing like this, and you're looking at that other person, right? And then what happens? Another person all of a sudden goes.
True. But
it's like, all right.
Or should I get up and walk across the room and whisper in the person's ear? I think that's even more rude.
Yeah, I would just say, you know what? Hey, Jim, let me talk to you a little bit after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of, going, hey, Jim, check your text messages.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times everybody in the room is on a text doing something else, or you're sitting in a room with 5 people and I'm looking around like, okay, everybody's on the phone but me.
We have a rule in the house. You sit down at the table, you don't bring your phone to the table.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because if they do, they're afraid.
That's the only rule I really have. No, please, let's not text and use our phones while we're having. It's the 20 minutes a day where you can just sit and relax, disconnect, and say, hey, this was what happened today. Then you go on your merry way. That's the only thing. Laura says, I've had people quit via text messaging because they want to avoid the confrontation.
Yeah.
I don't follow that.
She's an employer.
Yeah.
People will text her saying, I quit.
Oh.
So they don't have the confrontation of actually talking to her face to face.
Okay. Well, it's like me sending an email that I resigned from something more recently.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominic says, often when we order takeout, we will have one of the kids call it in because they're not getting those communicative skills. So I think I've told this story to you when we were up at the other station up on North Main.
Yep.
One of Melissa's kids came in, and I forget why. I think she was using one of my computers or something for school. And she said she was hungry. I said, oh, what do you want? And I said, well, here, just call this number right here, and you can order whatever, and it'll be quick. Yeah, I'm not calling anybody. So I'm like, what? You're not calling anybody? Well, then how are you going to get food? If you're not going to call somebody to order something.
I'm going there.
Well, yeah, that's different. You and I would think that. But then she was on a quest, and she found, for the first time, DoorDash. And then literally got Chinese food delivered from across the street and paid a delivery charge and everything. It was literally 200 feet across the street. And that was because we didn't want to make a phone call. And they paid extra. She paid extra for that.
Well, didn't she make the phone call to take and order the food? Oh, you order it through DoorDash?
DoorDash, yeah. Right over her phone. That's that quote unquote social anxiety piece.
Doesn't portend well for the world.
Huh?
It doesn't portend well for the world.
No, is it just the United States, or is it a worldwide thing? Because I think that's a huge epidemic. What's causing that? And I think these electronic devices that we use, instead of just being human, we are now becoming those devices almost. And we rely on those devices. I mean, I know people that have the device, and if they can't find it somewhere, they literally get jittery. Can't find my phone. I can't find my phone. I can't find my phone.
Well, it's all headed in the direction of the artificial intelligence and the human body becoming one and the same.
I wonder how that really is going to happen. How are they going to connect that? Musk said, "You're smirking, so Jim, tell us."
No comment.
It's going to be devastating emotionally. The human being's going to, if artificial intelligence and the human being are linked, it's going to kill a lot of the emotional part, because artificial intelligence won't have emotions. So,
absolutely right.
So it's going to kill people's emotions even more. And I think we are a emotional being. So how do we function? Because we have all our emotions, and all our emotions are good. They're not always appropriate, but all our emotions are good. So where does artificial intelligence fit into that? I don't see it working out too well.
But it's going to happen. It's already taken effect.
Oh, of course. I get really, really upset when I make a phone call and I'm talking to a robot or recording, or I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And of course, they don't. The inflection in your voice, the terminology you use, everything doesn't fit in. It doesn't work.
What about the beginning of robocalls, when they would have voices?
Yeah,
and they would talk to you, and you literally start to talk back for a second. And whoa, that's not a real person. You'd catch it like, maybe 2 sentences in.
Or you even texting, getting service for the phone company, texting for my phone service. I'm texting and texting and texting. And I find out I'm not talking to a person. I'm like, yeah, and they're not it's not understanding what I want. So then when you call, it's like you're talking to someone who has a language barrier problem, and you're sitting there going, I'm just as confused and frustrated as I was with the robot on the phone. And now I'm talking to someone who doesn't get when I say, hang on a minute, instead of,
It's the same as many of these companies have outsourced all of that stuff overseas, and they don't speak good English, and you don't know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah. And I know they're trying, but some of the words that they put together in English don't fit what I understand, or they have an accent that's so heavy that the way they're saying the word doesn't fit what I understand. Right. So and then they get frustrated with me because I'm not understanding. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I thought I was the customer. Yeah. So I was the one who was supposed to
call you. You called me.
Yeah. Or even the other way, even if I do call them, I'm the customer. I want a service that needs to be taken care of, and I can't get that.
I mean, anybody besides me, they must be getting 2 or 3 calls a day from Medicare.
No.
Okay. I block every one of them. And I block this one, and a few hours later I get another one, and it's from the same person that I already blocked. I recognize the voice.
Yeah, just on a different number.
Yeah, just on a different number. They just go from one to the next.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a step further. We're talking about like artificial intelligence and how it's controlling us, or we're letting it control us. There's an app right now that I downloaded because honestly it was all over social media because I just wanted to see what it was like. See what it's all about. It's called Replica, and what it is a artificial intelligent person that you create and can literally have conversations with, and it's artificial intelligence. What's that going to do? Wasn't there a movie that somebody fell in love with their GPS system or something like that in their car?
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Might have been, but I have no idea.
Oh, well.
So, but anyway, this I haven't really played with it much, but
you're building the app. So
no, not really. You give it a few pieces of information and then it learns.
Right. But what I'm saying, it's
so
taking.
Instead of dialing that 900 number, you're dialing this artificial intelligence. Having a relationship.
Yeah, but you're building that. You're not talking to something that someone else has built and you're trying to figure out what they're building. And when you're building it yourself, you're not intentionally, but you're putting aspects of yourself in it, how you would react to things, how you say things, right, how you do things. So you're actually building an app that would be very comfortable for you to use over time, but you put someone else in it who doesn't know you. Let's say they call up and you got something set up like that for the radio station to respond on the phone, and they don't know you. It's not going to work so well.
No. Well, there is some concern that artificial intelligence is eventually going to control you. You will not be in control of it.
AI is, they're saying this is the next thing. That's what I've heard for the last 6 months. AI. You know, there's a lot of that. I mean, there are little apps that you can pick, put yourself in like a little selfie, and it shows you what you look like in AI. Huh. And what it does is it takes a quote unquote flattering photo. So of course, what are you going to do? You're going to do it again. Why? Because it's flattering. You're like, oh, I like that. It's going to happen over and over again until it gets you.
Part of this is all the big push for 5G and now 6G.
Well, 5G is out. 6G
it's out
is
some
next.
places.
Of course, there's no 5G around here. Not yet, anyway.
A little bit, not much.
Not much.
I still don't understand what the whole 5G. That's one thing I don't understand. The whole 5G. What is that even going to do? Or supposedly, is it the?
I don't know what the hell the difference is.
Isn't it just? I'm not sure of this, but isn't it just a much higher speed, and 6G will be even higher again?
No, I don't think it's higher speed as much as it's more bandwidth.
Okay, but then that produces higher speed.
Yeah, until it gets clogged.
Yeah.
Like 3G did, 4G.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing there's like health benefit problems or something like that for 5G, which I don't know about that. I don't know either way.
Does it
It's
make
a conspiracy theory?
Well, it's a conspiracy theory, yes, because it's been claimed to be a conspiracy theory, but it's real.
Well, how the systems collect your information that you're using online and stores it. Well, the more efficiency you have, the more bandwidth you have, the more they can collect even more on you for not saying sampling of your information. They're going to be able to collect even a bigger sample of your
Yeah,
information.
but 5G doesn't really help you with your phone call.
No.
It only helps you when you transfer data
Right.
within your phone.
Right. So that's what
So
they
let's
can
face
be
it.
tracked more.
Most cars today that you own
Oh,
have Wi-Fi in it,
have the
right? So you're not
yeah.
using 5G.
Yeah.
You get to your house, you're on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And all phone calls are on Wi-Fi, not necessarily on their network,
Yeah,
because
they-
you're using your Wi-Fi to get your cell phone. You get to work. What are you on? Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Where are you
So
today?
what the hell is a 5G
can-
going to do for me?
Where are you? Where's Waldo, more or less? By his phone, by his car, by his household computer, all these things that they can tell where Waldo is today because he has these electronic devices that track him no matter where he's at.
yeah.
So if you can say, well, geez, I can go somewhere and, and no one know where I'm at. It's false if you got any type of electronics with you.
You got to turn it off.
I don't always work.
That doesn't necessarily
Well,
work.
yeah, but you can't turn your car off.
No, but
Unfortunately, the car knows where you've been.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but you can turn some of those things off on
Right.
the cell phone.
well, yeah, but if you want to, and I don't even know if you can totally kill your cell phone by removing the battery.
I don't know. But
Because even if your battery's dead, there's reserve.
Yeah.
And it says your phone is still traceable. So if you lose your phone, that's how they
I mean,
say. Like,
I don't have a new car, so I don't know. But don't all the new cars, they basically they know where you are all the time, anyways.
the
Well,
car does.
for
Yeah,
the-
and you can get
For the past
Wi-Fi.
20 years, if you got a car that's over 20 years old, okay, they can't track you.
Oh, it's
Or
like
probably even some of those.
19 years old.
Oh, you probably might be able to be tracked. There's a good chance. Yeah.
So, oh well.
And of course, some of the idiot things that are. I mean, we do have a new car. I bought her a new car because I want her to have.
You're
a
being
new-
tracked.
Absolutely. But I mean, let's see what your audience thinks about this.
oh, we have no audience today. It's Martin Luther King Day.
They took the
There's
Well,
no
you got
holiday.
Facebook user.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a pretty intelligent guy.
These are people that'll watch this after the fact, but there's hardly anybody here today.
We're nuts over green. Okay, that's another whole subject. But you start your car, and the
You're talking about green energy?
well,
The green
partially.
initiative?
yeah,
Yeah.
partially. Okay, you start your car, at least the one we got, and I think it's probably in most of them. But I think they stopped doing it now in the newer ones. You start your car, and if you stop, the engine automatically shuts off
yeah.
unless you
Yeah.
override it.
Right.
That if I had realized that at that particular moment, I probably wouldn't have bought the damn car. I would have probably bought a 40-year-old.
That was a Caroline's car?
I was very fortunate when I bought my truck. They didn't have enough chips.
Mhm.
And guess what chip they failed to put in?
That one.
That one. So I don't have that problem.
Well, I think they're doing away with that because
Yeah.
if you stop and think about it realistically, when you stop and think how many times, especially if you're doing local driving, you stop and start that car if you don't switch it off.
Yeah.
How much energy goes into replacing, for instance, the starter?
Yeah.
When the starter wears out, instead of in 20 years, it wears out in 5 months. I mean, that's an exaggeration, obviously. but-
The initial ignition of your engine takes more fuel than if you would have sat there, especially in our area where we're not sitting for 45 minutes in traffic waiting for things or a half hour. Like here, it shuts off. You're waiting for 10 seconds, turn back on. It would have been less fuel use if you let it running.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's that's depends on the area you're in, I guess, with that efficiency.
And I've said for many years, what I would like to see is I don't buy the electric autos. Okay, now maybe the hybrids are maybe a different story.
Yeah.
But I want to see somebody without a bias doing an analysis from the time you dig the first shovel full of earth to get the materials you need to build a vehicle, and the batteries and all the rest of it, through the final disposition of, and especially electric autos, the batteries with all the toxic elements. And I don't believe that green is green at all. I think it's red. And I think there's more and more people that are coming to believe that. And you've heard me talk about that
We
for
haven't
years,
ran
Mike.
into the area where we need to store batteries from cars, because let's face it, electric cars are not that old.
No.
They've only been around a few years.
Where do we put the
So
old
there really
batteries?
hasn't been a place where they've taken them out and disposed of them.
Not by the millions. And
Yeah.
Not by the millions
Maybe a
every
few,
week.
but what do you do with those disposable batteries?
I mean, can they be
there's a lot
recycled?
of
What's it
batteries.
cost, and how's it affect the
Well,
environment?
that's-
Or how's it
that's
affect the
the-
environment to recycle them?
That's the exact point I'm making.
Yeah.
Mike. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cindy
got
says
there
my
yet.
dad agrees with Jim 100%. On what? Jim's giving us a bunch of things today.
I think that was in regards to the electric vehicles.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Now here's another one. Okay, all this hubbub about CO2. All right, we have one arm of government over here that's going along, and they're cutting down tens of thousands of acres of trees because a tree might fall during a storm and cause an accident. Okay, especially on the highways. All right. You got another group over here, okay, that's complaining about CO2 building up. Well, trees take the CO2, convert them back to carbon and oxygen.
Yep.
Carbon goes back into the earth,
Yep.
and the oxygen goes back into us to breathe. Okay. How freaking stupid do we have to be? This guy is killing the trees. This guy wants the trees.
And where are the trees being cut? Along the highways.
Along the highways.
And where all the
primarily.
cars are?
Well, I don't have an objection to a dead tree being cut on a city street that's going to take down your power lines, okay? How many power lines do we have running along the interstate highways?
Yeah.
Stay home.
And again, in the past,
Well,
if they would have
yeah,
trimmed the
it's-
few
it's-
trees
it's-
that needed
if
to be trimmed,
You'd be driving
then
up
they wouldn't be doing this
395.
massive
Take a
amount
look
now.
at that. It is ugly going down the road, looking at 395.
It's
With all the trees that have been taken down and
Oh,
stuff.
and they're still taking them down.
And it used to be one of the most scenic
Now look at
drives.
It's
It'll come
destroyed.
back. I mean, that's just
They
nature.
destroy
It'll
it.
come back, but
I don't remember I did the research on this a few years ago. I don't remember the numbers now, but I mean, it's many, many tons per acre of mature trees that convert CO2 back into carbon and oxygen.
Yeah, it's a shame. Over a couple trees falling on a couple cars during the storm.
Yeah.
I think it was on the Merritt Parkway. That's where it happened. Yeah.
Stanford.
I'm not sure. It was Merritt Parkway runs all the way to
Yeah.
Stanford, but I'm not sure where it was. But yeah, so it's terrible.
Well, somebody on this side of the government's got a friend that's got a big tree clearing operation, so they want to give them money, And over here-
Well, unfortunately, legislation.
that never
A lot
happens.
of times, a lot of legislatures don't have any common sense. Okay, because they make decisions based on things that happen, not looking into what the end results could be. And a lot of times it comes back to bite them right in the butt.
Yep.
They make those decisions, and
everybody else gets to pay for it.
so what do you do?
And of course, driving down the highway now when it's windy with less trees, it's a little more effort to keep your car on the road because there's no trees breaking the wind so closely to your car. It's further away. It's more of a big wind tunnel
I
coming
never
through.
thought of that.
I hadn't
You
thought
know?
about that one either.
Yeah, that too. Because that's what I'm saying. I can see cutting back from the highway so many feet and maintaining it and mowing it and keeping it down so nothing grows. But then they turn around for years, they didn't do anything along 395, and they let it come to it's dangerous. It's up against the road. Well, if you'd maintain it where it's supposed to, and now they're going the extreme the other way. I'm going to make it even wider. I'm like,
It's wide.
So now they'll have to worry about it for the next 20 years again, right?
Yep. So what was that old advertisement? Pay me now or you pay me later?
Yeah, when you pay me later, though, it costs so much more.
Yeah.
Was that Midas,
Midas,
muffler?
I think it was. Yeah.
Midas muffler.
Yep.
You can pay me now, or you
Pay me
can
later.
Pay me later.
Yeah. Oh well.
Either way, it's not going to get any better. It's not going to change.
No.
It's the way things are trending. There's more support for the way things are trending as opposed to going back to, say, 20, 30 years ago. Because they're going to say, well, there's no progress in that.
Yeah, we made lots of progress 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I
Just
know. But
different progress.
There's a lot of progress right now that's being made that people don't agree with.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so.
And many of us don't think it's progress.
No.
Sounds like at least two of us in this sitting right here don't think so. I don't know about the other two.
What about town?
Mm.
What about town here? Have we had any progress?
No. Not that I can see. Has there been any progress in this town for 2, 3, 4 years, maybe 5 years? I don't know. How many years? When was the last time we really had something big? I'm not talking about the senior center now. I'm talking about some big company came in and did something.
Oh no.
I don't think I've been down here for for about 20 years now. I don't think anything big has happened in 20 years. No. Just I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of big.
Right.
I mean, a moneymaker for the town.
Yeah, like the Amazon warehouse in Plainfield. I mean, if they
That's-
put it up where
yes.
Stutz restaurant used to be, it would have been
the other
nice.
side of the Griswold Plainfield line.
Yeah.
Dominic said the town's motto, and we've heard this a million times, is not in my backyard.
Yeah.
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 Then those people are usually the ones who complain why the taxes go up. It's like, well, you got to make a balance somewhere. You got to make a balance somewhere to help with taxes. You got to bring in things that are going to help with taxes. And sometimes it's not the most perfect, ideal thing to say it's perfect, but you got to keep within reason too. I mean, how many people when Lisbon Landing could have, or Plainfield Dog Track when it went in years ago back in the 70s, or, all these are things that came in, and the warehouses and, things that are coming through now. I mean, a warehouse isn't a beautiful thing, but it's something that's going to help with your taxes that doesn't, destroy look at that warehouse on Amazon. It's gorgeous. You see the beautiful parking lot, and they got the grounds all beautiful up there. It's really nice looking. It's not bad looking.
And it
at
didn't
all.
take them long to do it.
No.
They're not in a hurry.
And that's what I'm saying. If something would happen here in Griswold like that, that could, there are spots right off the highway that could.
Well, this goes back to what Jim said earlier. The companies come in and they want shovel-ready projects.
Yes.
And there's
so the town invests in making properties ready and making them.
Oh, that's the whole idea.
But we were talking about that.
That's the whole idea of the infrastructure on 164.
Right.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it took so long to get that finally going, and then you had the COVID bullshit that screwed things up to a fairly well. It cost everything to double, triple in price.
Yeah.
Part of the problem in Griswold is we don't have a lot of commercial land. Okay, stop and think about it. All right, there's not a lot of commercial land. You got the Polinsky farm out there, and you've got the 164. There's not much of anything commercial at 138. I mean, it's largely residential.
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of the commercial land out there, they put solar fields on.
Which we won't get into.
What's that?
Which we won't want to talk about.
All right.
We didn't want to talk about the solar fields. That fiasco.
From the point of view of we didn't get any taxes yet?
Yeah.
Somebody pulled the wool over our eyes. Smart businessman. That's the way it goes, though.
So, but there is stuff down 164. There's a whole corridor there. What I don't get is with that. I mean, there's got to be a 2 mile stretch, where there's a lot of commercial land available. With the invent of Foxwoods years ago, why that should have been developed years ago.
Yeah, the traffic that goes through
Years
there.
ago, that should have been developed.
Yeah.
We're talking 20, 30, 40 years ago. That should have been developed.
Going out 164, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? You've got the Stott property, 100 acres plus or minus, and you've got which is now the Ceruzzi property, I guess, and then you've got the other 60 acres down there next to the golf course. So you got 160 acres on that side of the road. Some of it's pretty steep going down to the river. And on the other side, you get what they refer to as the Barber Road property. What's that? 115 acres or so, and an awful lot of that is wetland. So I mean, I don't know how much further down.
Go around the corner, go down the hill, and go down. You know where you go past the golf course and make the turn, go down the hill.
Yeah.
Along that stretch, there are two sides of the road that have cornfields on them, which is a lot of land.
Is that commercial out there?
I don't know if it is or not, but it could be changed.
Even if it's not, it could be changed.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of land there where they grow that corn.
Okay, that brings me to another one of my favorite gripes, and that is we have very little farmland left in this part of the country. Even. All right, there's going to come a day we're going to pay a price because all our good farmland is being burned up for house lots or commercial development.
Yeah,
and we're going to pay a price.
Yeah.
Right, Facebook user?
Not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard.
Anyway, I think there's a lot of, even if you look over at Stotts in that area. I mean, couldn't you put an industrial park over there? You could.
Yeah,
sure. You know, I mean, you know, what could that bring? You don't know. The fact is that I feel is that we're behind the eight ball. This should have been decades ago. Decades ago. We can sit here and we can blame the last 10 years of first selectmen, you know, saying, okay, this hasn't happened. No. I think you got to go back 3-4 decades and say, what the hell? Why wasn't this developed? Even before that, why was this not developed?
Yep.
You know, who didn't have the foresight to do that then? And now we're losing all of this business.
Well, there's another
tax
part,
dollars.
There's another part to that, Mike. Okay. And that is maybe a lot of people in this town did not want to see the character of the town change to being more like a city.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. You're absolutely right.
Right. And that's where the not in my backyard comes in effect.
We got to remember, we did have industry here.
Yep.
We had plastic wire and cable that was around for a long, long time.
I mean, you had the things down on Ashland.
Yeah, you had the other one down
Wireline
that was running. So, you know,
there were factories here.
I know there were factories here, but they were all congregated in a relatively small area.
No, you got Wireline on one side, you had PwC on another.
Right.
You had the Ashland Mills right in the center of it, you know, of the two.
I'm saying you draw a circle half a mile in radius, okay, and that's where almost all your commercial business.
Because we're using the river.
They're using the river, yeah. Today we don't need the river.
That's why Jewett City became Jewett City, because they were the economic epicenter of Griswold.
Yeah.
Still are.
And yeah, I mean, and you had, of course, a lot of business up in Plainfield on the river, the mills and stuff.
Brunswick Mill.
But a lot of reasons why the mills disappeared. One of them was the cost of labor. I mean, many of the mills moved down to the Carolinas.
Labor cost
for much cheaper labor.
Yeah.
Getting back to the solar project conversation, Jennifer says, no wool to pull over anyone's eyes. Solar is largely exempt and has been for quite some time. Whoever thought that this would be a tax revenue generator was misled. And she says we have to encourage farmers that aren't farming anymore to work towards preserving the land using open space land classifications or conservation easements that protect the land as green space. Once it's developed, we aren't getting it back, sadly.
Well, I don't think anybody disagrees that solar is a good thing. I think that the way that it was proposed and the way that they developed it, they knew how to escape.
We were told that there was going to be revenue coming in from that.
But the person who brought it in was smart enough to know to split it.
Yeah.
So-
I think you're right, Paul, that the size of the project.
You mean between the two sides of the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's X amount of megawatts, it's taxable. If it's less than X amount, and I don't know what X is, it's not.
Is this kind of like the whole data center kind of thing where it's a pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
either.
I don't think it's the same. No, but that's what we mean when we got. There was a smart business guy when he knew how to do this.
You knew how to split it so they wouldn't have the
Yeah.
acreage in one location.
So their attorney was smarter than our attorney.
I guess you could
Yeah.
say that. Yeah. So
Maybe we need a smarter attorney.
New technology, new concepts, new ideas are always hard for everybody to follow.
yeah, but I don't even think we're getting anything out of it because all the generation coming out of that solar plant belongs to Eversource.
Yeah.
Doesn't belong to
DCPU.
Power.
And what do we got for total generation up there, Paul? Less than 10 megawatts, I
don't know what it
believe.
is,
Okay.
but it's something.
What? Yeah. 10 megawatts won't even run Jewett City. I mean, it's I'm
I don't know. what it
I'm
is.
I'm absolutely convinced that wind is essentially useless. Okay.
Well,
But on
there's
the-
really no wind around here that we could benefit.
correct. And solar, that still is
I think solar in New England is pretty tough.
It
Too many
is.
trees.
well it's and the cloudiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
But going back to the mills that were here,
Yep.
Yeah.
why can't we use that resource that they powered the mills? Why can't we generate electricity with the water coming through?
I don't think there's
Is it
any.
economical.
The only hydro that
Environmental.
is it? I don't know.
A
What would
lot of
the
it
only
is
hydro that I think,
Airwind.
yeah, they may have some there, but I know Panema Mill had its own
right.
hydro,
Yep.
and then Tunnel Hill,
Yep.
which is up Route 12, has its own
I believe
hydro.
Wirewind does too.
Yeah.
They have a hydro
So
plant.
there is some hydro around, but who knows?
but probably nowhere near the capacity that you
No,
need
no,
today
no,
for
no,
modern manufacturing.
I think the Wirewind, hydro down there was enough for them, or at
That's
least
it.
supplemental.
Pretty much for.
I'm saying, but if we put these different locations where we got supplemental in 2 or 3 little locations, and then you add the solar, and you know what I mean. So I'm just not saying one situation is going to improve everything, but a little bit of everything could improve.
Well, I think out west on some of the rivers, and I'm thinking of the one that runs up between Washington and Oregon, the Columbia. I think they're removing dams up there for wildlife reasons.
Yeah. Well, what they're looking
Fish in particular.
What they're looking for, Connecticut, is to get hydropower coming out of Canada. They're trying to bring it down from Canada to Connecticut to help reduce the cost of electricity. They're looking into that.
Yeah, but one of the I think it was Vermont, that transmission line was supposed to come down through Vermont, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's
there was
been
some they squabbled
been
about it, but
largely
apparently now
done
they're
a lot.
talking. So hopefully that thing will get going and perhaps bring some hydropower down, which is much cheaper than regular generation.
All right, so let's
and relatively clean.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants to talk.
There you
Look
go.
at this.
That's okay.
Here we go.
Keep talking.
No, because we're leaving. We're leaving.
I know.
Everybody wants to show up now.
Breakfast time.
Court. Hey, Court. Things did not happen in Grizzle for several reasons. Residents' opposition, maybe cost of properties, and the lack of infrastructure, which we've talked about ad nauseum. Years ago, many of the prime commercial areas went to residential as it was easier and more acceptable. And Jennifer jumping on the solar bandwagon again. Jen says solar power is exempt from taxation for the most part. It is true that the nameplate generation capacity does drive the exemption. That is listed in the law. The town should have known that when they inked the deal and then stipulated it in the deal.
Yep.
She's right.
No argument with me.
No argument.
So
You learn, move on.
But we don't.
move
all you
on.
can
That's
do
a
now.
great idea.
That's all you can- that's all you
But
can
we
do.
don't learn.
Well, that's the thing. Hopefully,
Okay.
that's
Well,
true.
There's another old expression. What's insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and
again.
expecting a different result. God, my memory's not too bad today.
No, you're all right. You're pretty on point today, Jim. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on in today. Tomorrow, we don't know. I have no idea what we're going to do, but we'll be here. So somebody will be. Maybe we'll get Paul to come in to, make up for all the time you missed last week.
I got an appointment tomorrow.
You can cancel that shit. Anyway, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
It really is. Jim, always good to see you. And other Mike over here. Maybe you'll be here tomorrow.
I don't think so.
We'll see you at 8:15 tomorrow morning. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for being here, and have a good day. And remember Martin Luther King. Goodbye.
You buy better. Better first. Much better. So much better first. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better first. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
You've heard our ads. You know we promise unbeatable prices with real customer service. But do you really know the value add the Burns Agency brings to you? We price and coverage shop your insurance with over 20 top-rated insurance companies. We offer real account managers who facilitate all your transactions, billing, policy changes, claims, audits, you name it. No 800 numbers, no call centers. One point of contact who knows your account. Call, chat us online, or stop in today to experience firsthand why you